So, I mean, he's been the CEO of the company, and then which is a 17.8 billion dollar global federation companies with the Mahindra brand. Under his leadership, I mean, Mahindra has launched many new models in the past years,
Sasi,
including yes, sir. So,
Sasi, I think introduction name is sufficient. I think we'll go ahead
perfect.
as Professor said.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your introduction.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, good afternoon and good evening, participants. I'm very privileged to be there in the platform of Dr. Abdul Kalam because I still remember he came and inaugurated our innovation center, Mahindra Research Valley in Chennai. And he has always been talking about renewable energy and how that can play a vital role in mobility. So I'm happy to be there and just want to give a perspective. I think Professor Ashok Jhunjhunwala has talked about mobility already, but I will start with the industry. Look at auto industry today in India. While we are in the top 3 or 4 in manufacturing of auto industry, we have always been looking at innovation either in the east or the west. Look at 100 years of automobile development. We either bring technologies from Europe or from Japan or Eastern countries, and then we try to meet it 5 or 10 years down the line, whether it is emission norms or any new technologies. We have been always depending on technology to the east or west. Now, you have been seeing that automobile is being disrupted globally. I would say, the automobile industry and the mobility as a whole is getting disrupted substantially, particularly on electric vehicles, automation, connected, autonomous driving, and many more things like that. So why it is happening? I think why it is happening is we have been doing incremental change for the last century, and now we are looking at the next S curve, which will take us to the next mobility paradigm. So if you look at that, electric vehicle are going to play a vital role due to the simple and following reason, and what India can play a vital role in it. It's very important. Electric vehicle are basically efficient, more efficient, 4 to 5 times efficient, as Professor has said. It gives a tremendous potential because India as a country has a scarcity of anything, whether it is space or energy or anything. It is important that energy efficiency is brought in everything, including mobility, and EVs will play a vital role. Now, looking at the industry, I think Indian auto industry has a one-time chance to invent ourselves again, because EVs are a combination of an embedded system, software, electric motor, and not very highly dependent on internal combustion engine technologies, after treatment devices, which India is good at. We are capable as a country to develop efficient motors by ourselves, and we don't need very high skilled history of technology in it. And look at India. India has a very high IT capital, and we can do embedded system and software better than anybody else in the world. So if we can manufacture automobile efficiently, and we know other technologies, and if we know IT, and if we know how to build motors, then we need to look at how to build batteries and storage. If we do that, I think we have a very high chance we can put India in a global supply chain and also ahead or equally in the same platform like any other country on automobile technology. So since we are talking about innovation, this opens up a lot of startups, new entrants, even a big players to invest on new innovative technologies in EVs. Because no other country has gone ahead far in electric mobility, and the race is yet to start. So it is, I would say, start of a start. And it's important that we need to think about how do we play a very important role of innovation, not just on products. The electric system is not about selling electric vehicles. It is important we create a new ecosystem. We have been used to going and filling fuel in a petrol pump for 100 years. Now, if suddenly we say, no, you have to charge your vehicle at home, you find it very difficult. But the reality is, the combustible diesel and gasoline needs to stay away from your living. Electricity is right available in your home. So it's as simple as charging at home. If you globally look at it, almost 90% of the vehicles are charged at home, and 70% of them are at home charging and slow charging, at either at office or at home. So it's very simple, but there is a mindset needed to be changed at the customers, and for that industry needs to work on. So as Professor said, India has a very different challenge. Do we want to make supercars like what Tesla has done? And will it need meet the country's requirement? I think we as Mahindra and also as an industry leader, I would say any technology has to address a societal problem and it has to improve the life of the people living in the society. Now let's look at electric vehicle. We have talked about 14 out of 20 cities are being highly polluted in India. And with Corona, we are seeing from Punjab, the Himalayas, you can see, and every city now you can see for, pollution is reduced. While the pollution in the cities only 30% contribute from vehicular emissions, still we can reduce that 30% much lower with an electric vehicle, because electric vehicles are zero tailpipe emission and it moves the pollution from the city where you live to the generation. And I will not get more into generation. Professor has already talked about it. Generation in India is becoming more renewable, and hence we need not much worry whether we are burning coal and getting that electricity. Even today, with our current 18 to 20% of renewable energy in India, we have done a thorough, and not only as McKinsey and Morgan Stanley has done a study from well to wheel, still we are about 20% lower on like to like on electric vehicles running on the road. So if India increases the renewable energy percentage, it's going to further improve the total emissions coming out of the country, but definitely it will move many emissions from the city to a generation location. So that's how important it is. We are talking about growth, India growth rate. If you want to continue to bring a lot of people out of poverty, we need to grow at a very reasonable rate, about 5% to 8%. If that is so for next 10 years, then mobility plays a vital role. Without mobility, there is a direct link on growth, and hence without mobility, we can't get growth. If we have to get mobility, then today we are importing about close to $110 billion of oil. By 2030, it will go to about 250 billion, which is impossible for us to sustain on energy security as well as on economic security of the country. We can't be importing oil to the one. So what we are doing as a country, what we believe as a country is we will have to get, I used to always tell a triple whammy, we will have to get vehicles which are running more and which are running in the cities to electric, and that will reduce import duty. So what Mahindra we are doing, we are getting cars to get into fleet. That means your employee commute, your fleet vehicles, which are running 200 kilometers and above a day, we are trying to convert them into electric. Now, what is the triple whammy? Because these are all the vehicles which are running 200 to 300 kilometers a day. They consume a lot of fuel, they create a lot of pollution, and they are running in the cities. Now, if you convert them into electric, what happens? Now you are directly attacking the high impact running, and hence your oil consumption is less, and hence these vehicles produce less emission. The third one is the electric vehicles. When you run more than 200 kilometers, it becomes economically viable. That means you need not spend more money per kilometer because the operating cost is very low. So if you look at the higher EMI cost of the initial acquisition, still the every month fuel consumption cost, if you tabulate, it will be still lower to own an electric cars in operating cost perspective, in total cost of ownership perspective, and hence it will become economically viable. We have proved that in Bangalore and many cities, Pune, Delhi. Today, many fleet operators are getting into electric mobility. The other big area is two-wheelers and three-wheelers. India is a big, I would say, multi-modal transport country, unlike West. And it has large two-wheelers, huge need for last mile connectivity, because India is growing on a mass mobility like metros, mass rapid transport system, because giving mobility to 1.3 billion people is not the same effect when we are giving mobility to somebody in USA or Europe, because in India, the cars penetration is about 22 cars per thousand population when compared to close to 900 plus in US. So the whole US economy was built around personal mobility and cars. India, if we do that, it is going to be a substantial disaster because you will not have enough roads, you will not have enough parking space, and you will not have enough, what I would say, infrastructure to address to 1.3 billion people. And hence, India needs multimodal transport. So if we have multimodal transport, then you have last mile connectivity, you need first mile, you need last mile delivery, first mile delivery, mass transport. In all this, the first easiest adoption on electric can be on the last mile and first mile for three-wheelers, two-wheelers. And we have launched a three-wheeler in a lithium-ion one, and it has got a very, very, what I would say, good reception in the market because of simple things. The electric three-wheeler literally makes a driver to earn more than what he earns in a normal three-wheeler. We have many testimonies from our drivers telling they are earning about 3,000 to 4,000 rupees more than the regular autos just because of cost. Because most of the three-wheelers are bought in more than the down payment in the two, three, and even EMI, due to the lower electricity cost, the customers are able to save a lot of money. And to our surprise, India is always very innovative, not just in products, but also in the customers. We found suddenly women drivers adapting to electric mobility because the electric three-wheeler is drive-by-wire, bringing a high-end technology to one because you don't have clutch, you don't have gear, it is just driving like a scooter. Many women employers who are doing household have moved to buying electric auto by a financing scheme, and they are now saying they are earning close to 10,000 rupees more than their regular work without doing much hard work, but doing a dignified work. And they are getting a respect in the society. There are cases in Indore, there are cases in Kerala, there are many testimonies in Bangalore to it. So the technology by itself, while it is important to understand it, it is important to applicate and transform the society. And it should increase the life of the people. That's what is our principle, and that's what is the testimony we want to do it. Whether we want to do it in a fleet to prove that the pollution is coming down, it is economically viable, whether it is a three-wheeler, whether it is lifting the life of the people and they are earning more, and hence it is becoming popular. As Professor said, there is still a challenge in personal car mobility. We are not able to break even because the personal cars are run only 10 to 15,000 kilometers a year. And most of the time we park our car and we run for, let's say, 40, 50 kilometers a day on a regular use. But there is a huge range anxiety, and hence people want to pack huge batteries in the vehicle, which creates a problem. Now, the issue is, do we get cars like Tesla to have 80 to 100 kilowatt hour battery pack in a car and then just run for, let's say, 50, 100 kilometers a day? We can do that in Western world because the resources are available. In India, as I said, has a limited resources and huge population. We need to be very, very selective on spending the money either by government or individual or a company and so on and so forth. So we believe that we need to have a very unique electric mobility solution in India driven by 2 3-wheelers. Select cars which are high running electric cars, which needs to be there. And then look at other areas of delivery, last mile delivery, before we get into personal segment cars becoming popular. Because we have limited resources and we have to be very efficiently and innovatively use them. And that's the principle I believe we have to drive in. Now, having said that, 3-wheelers are India's story. If you go to any part of the world, they will tell you the 3-wheeler is India's story. It's very unique. Initially, people used to mock it, but now they have realized. You can see 3-wheelers in France now. You can see inquiries coming from US on 3-wheelers. 3-wheelers is a very unique product of India. And if India has to be placed in a global scale on electric mobility, we strongly believe 3-wheeler is one of the stories. 2-wheelers is very unique to India. Even India can do something on 2-wheelers extensively and place it to the globe. 80% of the 3-wheelers which are exported are from India. So if that is so, then why can't India play a vital role in electric mobility across the globe in particular segment? It can be 3-wheelers, it can be 2-wheelers, and innovations can come very uniquely from us, which can be deployed across the globe. Similarly, if you look at opportunities of global supply chain on electric mobility, why can't we make cost-effective electric motors, power electronics, and software developed in India? We can make it. It's important that the auto industry, the IT industry, and the youngsters, many of them work on cross innovation. There is no more, and I would say electrical and electronics, mechanical engineering, chemical engineering separate. I think innovations are now going to come where all of them are together. You have to find an innovative product using chemical engineering and writing a software and creating an automobile product. That's what electric vehicle are all about. And hence, I would request youngsters and people who are studying new, think at innovation, not at domain expertise only. Of course, you need domain expertise innovation, but you also need an integrated innovation between domain expertise to create in value to the customer and to the society. With that, I would leave my thoughts to all of you that on a World Environmental Day, I'm very, very privileged to be the platform of Dr. Abdul Kalam, and happy to contribute my time to all of you. Thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Mahesh, thank you very much. Really, it was very enlightening thought process and the idea. I think the most that what you mentioned is that affordability. I think end of the day, India must be able to afford. Indians must be able to afford. And I think when you exactly said that of the testimonials, when people, some of them are able to save more money with electricity. With electric vehicles, it's not only saving the environment, but also help make their lives better. So thank you very much for giving your views, and I truly hope that this area of electric vehicles would be of great interest to most of our entrepreneurs and students and the coming generation, because this is the future. EV is the future, definitely. Thank you, sir.